imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show under the world of outlaws.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and happy Extreme Race Night to you all. The Dre Broadcasting Network welcomes you aboard the action train here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The Extreme Motorsports 99 brings you the drive for COPD 125 for round 4 of the Pro Can-N Series, brought to you by iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics, IBOG or iBog, and check them out at ibog.co or ibog.co with Jason Allison. I'm your commentator Sean Zulu, and I am joined by my good friend and producer Dave Everly. How are you tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great out there. How you doing, Sean?
I am doing good too, thank you. Just excited about tonight's race here after having an amazing race before the break last week at Kansas Speedway with for the online sim racing network 144. With Joe White up in the booth. But Dave, before we begin, tell us a little bit about tonight's race, please.
Well, Sean, we are here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the drive for COPD 125. Taking a look here at Charlotte, it's about a 1.5 mile track. Taking a look at the weather, 78 degrees out, track temperature of 88 degrees, partly cloudy with the wind north at 2 miles an hour.
And the drivers do have a 50% fuel limit. That is 50% for 125 laps tonight here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Late afternoon here in the server. So we should expect to see some green flag pit stops. At least 2 to 3 green flag pit stops. Required pit stops for these guys to be able to make it all the way. But before we talk about that, let's just take a little bit recap from the last race we had for round 3. The online sim racing network 144 at Kansas Speedway. We had Cody McFadden bring it home. Waylon Williams came out second. Garrett Robinson came out third. Tommy Amasi fourth. Ralph Vanderforst fifth. Eli Green sixth. Hunter McDaniel seventh. James Peterson eighth. Marty Ray ninth. And Andy Starcher did round up the top 10. And in that race, Ralph Vanderforst did take the pole and led us to our first green flag run. And we had some contact between Taylor Gray and Adam Eisenhower, which did cause a chain reaction, giving us our first caution of the night. And the outside line was a place to be, and it made it extremely hard to pass and encouraged a lot of single file racing, because passing on the inside was nearly impossible. If you wanted to make a pass, you had to do it as soon as the green flag had flown in order to be able to make that pass. If you missed that chance, that was pretty much it. You were screwed. You had to be stuck behind somebody and enjoy the view of their taillight decals. And we had a few battles on the track, including James Peterson and Brian Wasserman going at it for the second place spot. or for the 7th place position. 3 wide among Damian Crump, Brian Wasserman, and Adam Eisenhower did leave Brian flipping on his roof and in every direction possible and giving us a caution. And Waylon Williams and Garrett Robinson did battle heavily for 2nd place with 3 laps to go and gave it everything they had to try and bring it home, and they came out 2nd and 3rd by the end of it. And contact between Ralph Vanderforst and Garrett Robinson on the last lap on the exit of turn 4 caused Ralph Vanderforst to get into the wall and causing him to finish in the 5th place spot. And Cody McFadden did bring it home unchallenged because there was so much of a cluster behind him from 2nd place all the way back, full of battles. So he was able to pull away with a smile and without any problems whatsoever. But going over our current season standings, we do have Cody McFadden taking over the standings away from the 12 of Damian Crump as of last week. So Cody went from 2nd to 1st this week. 6'5" Marty Ray still 2nd in points after being tied with Cody McFadden last week. Ralph Vanderforst went from 4th place to 3rd. David Schneer from 3rd to 4th. Garrett Robinson from 8th to 5th, gaining 3 spots this far. Congratulations, Garrett. Hunter McDaniel still in 6th. James Peterson still in 7th. Damian Crump, Travis Pryor, and Gary Woobot all tied for the 8th place position in points. We have Adam Eisenhower going from 6th to 9th, and Don Kidder Jr. from 9th to 10th. Well, that does round up all our current season standings, our top 10. So we do have 3 drivers of those top 10. Well, actually, that gives us, let's see, 12 drivers in there, but I talked about the top 10, but we do have 3 drivers tied for the 8th place spot. Once again, that's Damian Crump, Travis Pryor, and Gary Woobot. So we will keep an eye on those guys tonight and see what causes a tiebreaker or see if it even makes any difference. But as we're speaking right now, these drivers are gridding up here. Currently on the pole is the 86 of Adam Eisenhower, the 8 of Waylon Williams, currently 2nd. Well, going to be starting 2nd. The 13 of Eli Green, 3rd. We have the 66 of Ralph Vanderforst, 4th. 11 of Ken Ladd, 5th. 57 of Hunter McDaniel, 6th. The 1 of Christopher Clanton, 7th. The 31 of Andrew Riley, 8th. 65 of Marty Ray, 9th. And the 97 of Garrett Robinson rounding up that top 10. And the 64 of Cody McFadden, our new season standings leader so far at the moment, will be starting in 11th place. 59 of David White, 12th. The 19 of Andy Starcher, 13th. The 40 of Joshua Gillen, 14th. The 81 of Travis Pryor, 15th. The 12 of Damian Crump, 16th. The 34 of David Schneer, 17th. 58 of James Peterson, 18th. The 72 of Brian Wasserman, 19th. And that 25 of Timothy McBrayer, rounding up that top 20. And the 48 of Christopher Smith, starting 21st. The 36 of Jason Eisenhower, 22nd. The 10 of Caleb Daniels, starting 23rd. The 4 of Michael Snow, 24th. The 78 of Leonard West, 25th. The 43 of Charles Lemire, 26th. The 5 of Gary Woobot, 27th. 18 Rick Mason, 18th. Oh, I should say 28th, sorry. 41 of Dennis St. Germain, 29th. And that rounds up all the drivers who qualified. We also have the 05 Tommy Amasi starting at 31st place position. So we do have 30 drivers starting because one of the 31 drivers is not going to be racing. It's the admin, Mason Wetzel. So we only have 30 drivers starting tonight's race. But going back up front, we are being led by the 86 of Adam Eisenhower for the first time this time. And Dave, I personally have not seen many. It's been a long time ever since I've seen a race at Charlotte not being a night race. So it's going to make things very interesting here. On iRacing actually does make a difference. Racing at night versus late afternoon like we have here at Charlotte for tonight's race. But we are entering turns number 3 and 4. Exiting turn 4, going green for the first time this time by for the drive for COPD 125. The pace car dips off. Adam Eisenhower puts it down the floor. He does catch him off guard. I heard some banging in the back. Oh, we have one drum spinning in the grass. Gonna go back and see who. Oh, they're still wrecking. We have a big wreck here on the restart. Looks like we have a very, very big checkup. Gonna go for the back in the pack and see who might have been involved in this. We have 43 Charles Lemire with some heavy damage in the rear end. The 4 of Michael Snow sideways. 78 Leonard West involved. 72 of Brian Wasserman. 58 of James Peterson. 18 Rick Mason. And that's pretty much it. Let's see who we can focus on replay. I'm gonna back it up here. Let's focus on the 58 of James Peterson on replay.
As we focus on the 58 of James Peterson, it looks like there was a checkup at the start-finish sign, and it just started a chain reaction right behind him. James Peterson getting spun out, tagged there. Not the way that a lot of these drivers wanted to start tonight's race.
Absolutely, very unfortunate for all these guys involved early on here before lap 1 is even complete. But pit road will be a little bit busy here for all those drivers involved, because we did have at least 5 to 8 drivers involved in the incident here. So the 58 of Peterson, who most likely did get the worst end of that deal. His car is looking the worst of everyone out there who was involved in that. But good thing is these drivers do have 2 backup cars, so they will go out there, they will go into pit road, get one of their backup cars out, and they'll be left with one. But some of them who didn't get as bad damage as the 58 of Peterson will be lucky enough to have their pit crew work on it to make it better and save their 2 backup cars for a rainy day, because this race is far from over. 125 laps, anything can happen, and 50% fuel limit. But going back up front, looks like Adam Eisenhower was able to catch the back of the pack. 05 Tommy Amasi, Brian Wasserman, 41 Dennis Saint-Germain, 36 of Jason Eisenhower, 12 of Damian Crump, 25 of Timothy McBrayer, and also the 43 of Charles Lemire. All these guys behind the pace car being shown a lap down. So once we go 1 to green, they will be getting the wave around to get 1 lap back and be back on the lead lap, because everyone is actually they're all a lap down at this point. But that 43 of Charles Lemire, Dave, that rear end is not looking too pretty, so I'm not sure how that's going to affect him.
Yeah, I don't think the rear end's really going to cause him too much of an issue right now, but it's still early in the race, so I'm sure his pit crew will be here in the meantime trying to pound that out.
Oh, absolutely. And we also have one more driver in front of him. Once again, 25 of Timothy McBrayer and status check on the 58 of Peterson. Oh, Dave, looks like Peterson decided not to use his backup car, so he still has that damage, but his pit crew did work on it quite a bit, so it is looking better than it was when he first went down a pit road after being involved in that incident. So hopefully he's able to keep up, but that car has seen better days. But going back up front here, I thought we were back 1 to green, but we're not yet. So we'll be going 1 more lap here before everybody else gets the wave around. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining us for the drive for COPD 125 by the Extreme Motorsports 99 Pro Can-N Series, brought to you by iRacing Broadcast Overlay and Graphics, iBog or IBOG. So check them out at ibog.co with Jason Allison. He does work on sim racing graphics, just like the graphics you see right before you, the ticker and everything else out there, looking very pretty. Thanks to Dave Everly as well, the producer behind the camera, behind the scenes. As we speak here, the lights on the pace car still stay on. So we'll be going 1 more lap. We'll be going around for 1 more lap, and I believe that might mark the 1 to green. And Dave, one thing I've noticed about iRacing, if before lap 1, if a caution comes up before the end of lap 1, it does screw things up. Usually, the 1 to green does not even fly. So fingers crossed that that's not exactly what happened here.
Yeah, most definitely. Here's looks like hopefully we should be going 1 to green here next time by. We are now here on lap number 5 after having a real rocky start to the race. Drivers still got a little bit of butterflies in their bellies, but they are getting lined up, getting ready to go back green flag racing.
And Dave, I don't blame these drivers after coming from Kansas. Last race we had for round number 3, Kansas forced the drivers to ride single file because they only had 1 race line, and that was the high side line. And this is Charlotte. Things are different. They can go 3 wide, 2 wide. They can ride the high line, middle lane, bottom lane. So we're gonna see a lot of hard racing. So these drivers just trying to make up what they couldn't do, or make up for what they couldn't do at Kansas At the last race, we had the Online Sim Racing Network 144. Once again, that was Kansas Speedway. And the lights on the pace car finally do turn off, and everybody who was behind the pace car got one lap back. The wave around the pace car, 86 atomizer, and I'm catching up the pace car here to lead here for the next coming restart. 86 in the lead with the help of the 13 of Eli Green on the inside line. The 8 of Waylon Williams on the outside with the help of the 66 of Ralph van der Forst. And because of that rough start, we were showing only about 16 of the 30 drivers on the lead lap. But so far, still difficult to tell here. It hasn't yet updated. But it looks like we still have a couple of drivers still a lap down, but most of them did get their laps back there with this one to green. They were behind that pace car. But Dave, we are going green, so please do the honors.
As the pace car brings them out of turn number 4, pace car down onto pit road. Items an hour, keeping them at pace speed here, waiting on the green flag as they come through the dog leg.
Oh, Dave, looks like the caution has been extended by race control. Looks like they're trying to sort out some things behind there. We had some cars lagging back further back in the field. So we will be under caution here one more time. The lights of the pace car are still off here. So the pace car will be coming back on the racing surface. It's on the apron as we speak. So everybody can get caught up. And we do have more drivers getting the wave around that pace. 58 of James Peterson being one of those drivers. And also the 4 of Michael Snow behind him. And Michael Snow will be getting one lap back here, back on the lead lap. And behind him, James Peterson with some heavy damage here, pushing about 158 and climbing slowly, not as fast as he should be climbing. That car definitely does have heavy damage, and it definitely will affect him. But he is now back on the lead lap here on lap number 7.
Looks like the lights are back on the pace cars, so they will be going back around another lap before we get back here starting. After an early caution on our initial restart, which we are now just now completing lap number 8. Lights are off, so these guys getting back double file, ready to go back green flag racing.
We do have some people in the chat there. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. We have James Peterson and Benjamin Schultz, unfortunately missing tonight's race. But, buddy, we look forward to seeing you again next week for the Lucas Oil 200 at Dover International Speedway. And also have Pat T and Timothy Petito. And ladies and gentlemen, this restart is no different than the first one we had. Still the same exact lineup. 86 Adam Eisenhower, 13 Eli Green behind him. The 8 of Waylon Williams on the outside with the help of the 66 of Ralph van der Forst. And the caution just might be extended here one more lap. We still have some more drivers getting the wave around the pace car. Oh, the pace car does dip off the surface. The green flag does fly, but the caution has flown once again, has been thrown by the race officials as they do try and get things sorted out. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is a good time for us to take a commercial break so we can get things sorted out. We'll be right back, so stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the drive for COPD 125 for round 4 of the Extreme Motorsports 99 Pro Can-N Series, brought to you by iRacing Broadcast Overlay and Graphics, IBOG or IBOG, and check them out at ibog.co with Jason Allison. Well, going back to the race here, we're still under caution, but everything has been sorted out. The race officials are trying their best to get everything back up and running because the server got confused a little bit there. So they are trying their best and so far doing an amazing job. Everything seems to be back to normal, so we should have the lights on the pace car turn off once we cross the start-finish line this time by. Looks like the lights on the pace car do still stay on, but well, this gives us some time for a race interview. So let's focus on one of the drivers further back in the pack here. Let's do the 40 of Joshua Gillen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have the 40 of Joshua Gillen up here. Let's get up there, buddy.
How you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good.
Well, buddy, haven't spoken. We haven't. I don't believe we've talked to you before here in the booth. But it is good to see you here tonight. But from practice, what we've been seeing with your machine, I did notice a lot of guys getting very tight off the exit of turn 4. But how was the car handling during practice with your pit crew and everything?
It starts out a little tight, gets loose on the way.
Oh, 10-4, brother. And what have you been seeing with the competition out here? Because in practice, you guys were very, very close in lap times. With that said, do you think you have what it takes to keep these guys behind you?
Sorry, bud. It's real hard to hear you at the moment.
Oh, not a problem, buddy. But looks like you're still 2 to green. But my question was, with what you've seen so far here in practice with these guys, do you think you have what it takes to keep them behind you and bring home a win?
I'm hoping to. Got a new sponsor aboard.
Oh, copy that, brother. Well, good luck to you and make us proud.
Thank you, sir.
And that was the 40 of Joshua Gillen, currently being shown in the 12th place position with a very, very good looking paint scheme with the heavy hauler on the rear end of that machine. Ride or die is what it says on the hood of it. But going back up front, looks like the pace lights are still currently on. Moment of truth here across the start finish line. This time by, fingers crossed. Yep, there we go. The lights on the pace car do turn off. That means one thing, 1 to green this time by. And everybody getting bunched up nice and tight. Going to be going green for the second time this time by. And looking at some of the drivers who were damaged in that little incident there, the 58 of James Peterson finally went down a pit road and ended up using his backup car and now has a brand new machine here with a paint scheme of the medical marijuana. Very good looking paint scheme on that machine, very well dressed. Going back up front here, the 86 of Adam Eisenhower leading every single lap here for lap number 13, across the start finish line. Lap number 14, and once we cross start finish line, we'll be having 112 laps remaining. Entering turn number 3 and 4 this time by. Well, Dave, do the honors once again.
Well, as the pace car now brings him here out of turn number 4, getting ready to go green flag racing. Pace car is off. Adam Eisenhower keeping him at pace speed. He jumps the start, gets a good run, but here comes the 13 of Eli Green as he is getting to the inside there of the 8 machine of Waylon Williams here coming into turn number 1.
Yeah, Waylon Williams was caught sleeping on the restart, but he was able to fall back in line behind the 13 of Eli Green to avoid losing a spot to the 66 of Ralph Vanderforst. And Ralph right now getting some pressure from 57 of Hunter McDaniel. They'll be side by side on the backstretch here, entering turn 3. And Ralph does drift way high. He's going to lose 2 spots, maybe even 3 here, before lap number 15 begins. Note the 11 of Ken Ladd is being held off quite a bit by Ralph Vanderforst on the outside, going 9. 57 of Hunter McDaniel. That's 97 of Garrett Robinson, who made the pass successfully, and so did Ken Ladd here. Oh, actually, the neck and neck exiting turn number 2. Ralph gets a slingshot off turn 2 and will stay neck and neck with Ken Ladd entering turn number 3. And behind them, we have the 1 of Chris Clanton behind the 31 of Andrew Riley for 8th place. Oh, big wreck off turn 4. They're going to go into the grass. Gonna see who might have been involved in that. 59, David White got a piece of it. 25, Timothy McBrayer. 40 of Joshua Gillen. The 10 of Caleb Daniels. And also looks like the 18 of Travis Pryor. Gonna go back on replay and focus on the 59 of David White on replay.
Well, as we take a look here at the replay, we've got a lot of cars involved in this, as it looks like contact between the 59 and 40, the 64 there. Machine of Cody McFadden was also involved, as we saw the 59 of David White helicopter down the start-finish line there, as we are going to go back, take a look here from the cockpit view.
Oh man, Dave. And looking at Travis Pryor right now, I was looking at him on replay. It seemed as though, yep, he actually entered pit road sideways at about 130 miles an hour, which will be about, well, I should say, over 100 miles over the pit speed limit. So he did get penalized and most likely is going to be sent to the back of the pack because of that. But going back up front, 86 Adam Eisenhower still in the lead. 13 Eli Green second. 8 of Waylon Williams third. Hunter McDaniel fourth. And Garrett Robinson in 5th place. And Garrett Robinson and also 57 Hunter McDaniel both new to the top 5. Hunter coming from 6th to 4th at the moment. And Garrett Robinson coming from 10th place to 5th. So Daniel gained 2 spots and Garrett Robinson gained 5 spots this far, and these guys now have 17 laps on their tires, but something tells me they will stay out because most of those laps were under caution. And yes, the leader decides to stay out and most of them will follow. Yes, almost everybody will follow his lead, but we have 8 of Waylon Williams down pit road with the 64 of Cody McFadden. And looking through the field right now, we have had some heavy movers. We have 48 of Christopher Clanton, actually with 12 Damian Crump too, coming from 16th to 9th. 48 of Christopher Smith coming from 21st to 10th as we speak, near the top 10. Great job by him. And the 36 of Jason Eisenhower coming from 22nd to 11th at the moment as we speak. And so far I haven't seen a lead change just yet, but I do believe we will see a lot of lead changes once we have some green flag runs, because this track does bring out the competition out of these drivers. It is a very, very good track, very grippy, and the track temp tonight is 86 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's not too bad. That should give these guys enough grip to even go 3 wide or 4 wide if we're lucky enough.
Yeah, I don't think we have enough track here to do 3 wide. We may see some double wide. We may see some drivers try it, but here at Charlotte, it's not too well advised to try a 3 or 4 wide here at Charlotte.
Oh, absolutely. If we're going to see that 3 or 4 wide, we will most likely see some drivers in the grass, and the grass has no grip whatsoever, which makes things very interesting. It becomes a drift track, or drift or dirt, I guess, in this case. And we are now back 1 to green with 86 of Adam Eisenhower still in the lead with 57 of Hunter McDaniel right behind him. On the outside is the 13 of Eli Green with the 97 of Garrett Robinson in the 4th place position, 2nd place on the outside. And once again, we have 3 drivers tied in points here in the top 10, or tied for 8th place actually. 12 Damian Crump, Travis Pryor, and Gary Woolbot. And I believe Travis Pryor and also Gary Woolbot started nose to tail, or right next to each other during qualifying, which made things very, very interesting. But right now, do enter turns number 3 and 4 going green, this time by. The pace car does take that hard left off the racing surface. 86 of Adamize and still holding pace speed. He puts it down to floor. It does catch him off guard. 57 Hunter McDowell trying to benefit from the 13 of Eli Green, who was caught slipping quite a bit, but Eli Green will outshift him, or try to outshift him here before turn 1. And Hunter and Gary Robinson on the outside will try and assist him, but he then dumps him and falls in line behind Hunter McDaniel to freight train him there on the outside. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, the outside line is not the place to be on the restarts, because you do get freight trained if you don't catch a break to fall in line in the inside line. And right now, it's Ralph Vanderpoort on the outside, being overtaken by the 31 of Andrew Riley.
Yeah, 31 of Andrew Riley there, but they got to look right behind him is the 12 of Damian Crump. So he is back in the race here, running back into 7th position. Got Andy Starcher there running in 8th, Jason Eisenhower 9th, and Christopher Smith running in your top 10.
And speaking of Damian Crump there, the 12 of Damian Crump currently 7th behind 31 of Andrew Riley, like you had pointed out. Damian Crump just lost his spot in the points on the as the leader in points, because he was leading before Kansas. But after Kansas, he had a very bad race at Kansas, which actually made him lose the lead and dropped him down to 8th place in points. And that's quite the drop, losing 7 spots. And Cody McFadden was able to take it away gladly. So Damian Crump is upset and angry and hungry actually as well, and trying to take what was rightfully his, which was the pole position here in points. But it's easier said than done. He has a lot of work to do, a lot of drivers to try and get ahead of, because at the moment he's also trying to break a tie between him and Travis Pryor and Gary Woolbot, because once again he is tied with them for 8th place in points. And going for the back in the pack, 34 of David Schneer being challenged by the 18 of Rick Mason for the 12th place spot.
Yeah, going a little further back here, Cody McFarlane, who just inherited the points lead, running back here at 18th position. So he's got a lot of track to make up here if he wants to contend with that points lead. As taking a look here, he has only got an 8-point lead over Marty Ray. Marty Ray running currently in the 9th position.
Oh yeah, and Cody McFadden here is in a roadblock behind the 1 of Chris Clanton, and a cluster in front of them. James Peterson, the 4 of Michael Snow, the 40 of Joshua Gillen, David Schneer, and the 18 of Rick Mason. But Rick Mason does seem to have increased the gap in between him and the 34 of David Schneer there in that 13th place position. And for the back in the pack, the 5 of Gary Woolbot as well in a cluster of his own here. He has the 8 of Waylon Williams all over his outside line, the 58 of James Peterson, the 4 of Michael Snow as well in this mix. And that 5 of Gary Woolbot here backing off, letting everybody by, trying to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, he knows there's still a lot of racing left with 100 laps left here at Charlotte. Still got some time, as these guys are putting down some pretty good lap times here. Looking at some of these drivers, though, they have like right about 20-some laps on their tires. Not sure if that's right, but I'm sure some of them have pitted, but they are just kind of hammering down here, so we should hopefully get a good green flag run here and see some green flag pit stop.
Oh, absolutely, Dave, and that is absolutely right. They do have 26 laps on their tires for only the top 12 drivers, no, top 13, and the last car in that 13 being the 34 of David Schneer. All these guys have not pitted in yet, so they do have 27 laps on their tires, but everybody else has less than 12 laps on their tires. So that definitely should make a difference, but it's difficult to tell because most of those laps were under caution there. So that's most likely why they decided to stay out. Around 58 of Peterson giving a charge or trying to battle the 81 of Travis Pryor for the 19th place spot. And Travis will have no choice but to fall back in line behind him to to avoid losing spots. The 5 of Gary Woodward behind here in a roadblock backs off to let all these guys by. 59 of David White catching up to him at a very fast rate.
Well, going back up front here, we are still being led by the 86 of Adam Eisenhower. He has pulled a pretty big gap over the 57 of Hunter McDaniel. And Garrett Robinson now running into third position as he has got Eli Green and Ralph Vandervorst right behind him.
And when we talked to the 40 of Joshua Gillen up here in the booth during that caution that we had, he did verify that these cars are very, very tight in the beginning of the race, but then they do end up getting loose. So that explains why right now, as we speak, I'm seeing a couple of drivers getting loose in between turns number 1 and 2. Basically, the rear end just snaps around and forces the front end to go down the track. But so far, they've all been able to save it. But loose is sometimes a good thing, and tight, not so much. But it just depends on these guys' driving style. Some drivers do prefer to have a tight car, and some do prefer to have a loose car. And here on the oval side, Dave, they do have a saying, loose is fast.
Yeah, most definitely. Looking a little further back here, the 12 of Damian Crump moved up into the 6th spot, getting around the 19 of Andy Starcher as he is now putting the hammer down, trying to close that gap there on Eli Green, make his way into the top 5. But looking here, it looks like most of the field here is coming down here into single file, as we do have a battle here between Cody McFadden. He is on the outside as he is battling the one machine of Christopher Clanton here coming out of turn number 4.
Oh man, Christopher Clanton and Cody McFadden, these guys were giving each other a lot of room in the turn wall side by side there. So it looks like Cody McFadden was afraid of getting loose, and one of Chris Clanton was afraid of pushing high, getting tight. And they do go back single file here, trying to catch their next victims. The 31 of Andrew Riley and the 65 of Marty Ray. And for the back in the pack, we do have the 34 of David Schneer, the 5 Gary Woodward, the 4 of Michael Snow. Oh, actually, the 5 of Gary Woodward and the 4 of Michael Snow do go double foul here and battle each other for that spot. The 5 of Woodward does get around the 4 of Michael Snow, who will stay high to let him by and falls back in line to avoid losing more time and more spots, and tries to charge on his back bumper here. And once again, this is Charlotte, so the draft is very strong. So it's going to keep these guys together.
Yeah, but the track is not long. It's only a 1.5 mile track here at Charlotte, so they only have a little bit of time here. These laps are ticking down here, running right about the low 29s a lap here. So these guys know that even though there is 92 laps left remaining here tonight, these laps are going to count down very quickly.
Oh, that's absolutely right. And Dave, right now we do have one driver falling way off the pace, 48 of Christopher Smith, who has been going to the back at a very, very fast rate ever since the last 5 to 6 laps. And taking an inspection of his machine right now, he does seem to have some heavy damage on the front end of that machine. So that most likely is contributing to is the reason why he's falling off the pace here. But looks like he has upped his game, trying to use a little bit of draft that he can. But so far having no luck, and the cars behind him are catching up, namely 59 David White and the 10 of Caleb Daniels.
Well, Sean, one thing to remember, these drivers, tire wear is key here at Charlotte. The one who can save their tires the most can run longer at a higher pace. So these drivers do have to worry about tire wear here at Charlotte.
Oh, that's a very, very good point. And Dave, speaking of those leaders on the top 13 who I talked about, who decided to... Oh, we have some confusion going on. They got 3 wide. The 18 was caught sleeping here. He was caught at a very, very slow pace. That's Rick Mason. He puts the hammer down the floor and gets back up to pace here. It caused a chain reaction for the back in the pack. But they were able to sort it out and avoid causing an incident. But going back to the top 13 drivers I talked about, they now have 37 laps on their tires. That is not pretty. And Dave, they most likely stayed out because they were thinking or hoping for some cautions to bunch them back up again, or to help them not make a difference, to make it that the tire doesn't make a difference in their strategies or in their performance here. But if those cautions do not fly, it's going to be a bad day for them, as we have one driver here pulling off. We have 3 drivers actually on pit road now. We have Hunter McDaniel, we have Damian Crump, Andy Starcher, and Christopher Smith.
Yep, starting to see our first round. Here comes the 97 of Garrett Robinson. He is coming down pit road for some green flag pit stop. Also the leader, 86 of Adam Eisenhower. That is going to hand the race lead over to the 66 of Ralph Vandervorst.
And unfortunately, we have lost one driver tonight. The 72 of Brian Wasserman. Very, very unfortunate for Brian, but we look forward to seeing him and everybody else back next week for round number 5 at Dover International Speedway. And Ralph Vandervoort right now downshifting it, going... Oh, he misses pit entrance, Dave. He has no choice but to put the hammer down the floor and pit in next time by. That is not a good thing. That is not pretty.
No, that actually allowed the 31 of Andrew Riley, who is also staying out there, to catch up to him in a hurry, as he is carrying a whole lot more momentum as they are now coming here on the backstretch. So we should see even more drivers now making their way down pit road, as these top two here have got right about 40 laps since their last pit.
Yep, and only the top two have 40 tires on their 40 laps on their tires this far, but everybody else behind them have all the way from 23 laps up to 37 laps on their tires. So it's going to be a while until we see Cody McFadden, James Peterson, and maybe Waylon Williams pit in, because they did pit in the last caution we had, unlike the previous drivers here, like the leaders, Andrew Riley, and the previous drivers who just pitted in. And Andrew Riley still staying out here, and that's going to give him 42 laps on his tires. Oh, and there we have a battle going on. 58 of Peterson is on the move right now, headed towards the front. Just overtook the 64 of Cody McFadden for the second place spot. And Cody will go high, go back down low to be behind the 58 of Peterson. And he's trying to hold off the 8 of Waylon Williams as well. These guys have found each other. Waylon Williams coming out second place from the last race we had, which was at Kansas. Oh, one driver missed pit entrance and came back on the racing surface. It causes a chain reaction here, and the caution has flown. That was not him, though. It happened somewhere else on the track. We're going to back it up and see who might have been involved.
Well, that looks like that is going to be involved. The 19 of Andy Starcher. As we pull up our Dre Broadcasting Instant Replay. We're going to rewind it and see what happens. Focus it on the 19. Oh, it looks like it actually happened in front of him here. We are going to take a look here at the 13 of Eli Green. It looks like some contact between him and another car, and it just caused a chain reaction. As the 36 machine was also involved, and just a big chain reaction.
Oh, absolutely. Very, very unfortunate. Holy cow, yeah. From further investigation, it was contact. It was forced contact between Eli Green and Dennis St. Germain. There was some bad net code on the servers. Very, very unfortunate for all the drivers involved in that, because once a wreck happens like that, it does collect a lot of drivers, especially when these guys are carrying so much momentum, so much speed, wide open off turn number 2 there. And that did cause that. But going back up front, Andrew Riley going down to pit road and will be followed by a lot more drivers. The top 8 drivers, that is. We have James Peterson, Cody McFadden, Waylon Williams, Travis Pryor, Joshua Gillen, Gary Woobot, and Charles Lemire. And Dave, that caution did catch some drivers at a very, very bad time, because most of them were on pit road while the caution had flown. So that most likely will cause them to go a lap down or even send them to the back of the pack.
Yeah, this actually helped. I think Andrew Riley and them did a pretty good job here. We saw our race leaders, Adam Eisenhower, Hunter McDaniel, and all them, already a lap down from the green flag pit stops. So this is going to put them more towards the back of the field here. So it looks like Adam Eisenhower, after leading already 36 laps here tonight, he's going to have to work his way back through the field.
Oh yeah, he probably doesn't like that, not even one bit. But he shouldn't have no problems whatsoever. Well, maybe he might, because these guys it's a strict field. They know how to get the job done, and won't let him by without a fight. They will fight until the death. But this does give us some time for a race interview, so let's focus on the 31 of Andrew Riley. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have Andrew Riley up here with us. Got a cop there, buddy?
What's going on, guys?
Good, how are you?
Somehow still running because I was about out of gas.
Oh, man. Well, we are glad that that caution caught you at a very, very good time, and you were able to lead a couple of laps there, get around the driver who was in front of you before you pitted in there. But how's the race going so far? Because it does seem as though you've had some right front damage for the longest time, but have still been countering it quite well.
Yeah, 3 and 4 on this track has always been my troublesome, no matter what car. If it's the Cup car, Busch car, trucks, even the K&N. Turn 3 has always been dangerous for me.
Oh, copy that. Well, we do hope that you adapt to turn 3 soon here, so your car doesn't push too much and you're able to keep heading the right direction like you have been ever since you pitted in there. I mean, even before those pit stops had kicked in. But what's the strategy from now on?
Just same thing I've been doing, letting it roll into 1 and 3, trying to save some tiles because tile fall off is big hill, and just try to save gas as much as possible.
Oh, that is a very, very good strategy, Andrew. And with that said, you should be able to spank these guys and make them enjoy the view of your tail light decals. Well, buddy, you are now back 1 to green. Keep doing exactly what you're doing. You are currently in the lead. So congratulations on that, and we hope to see you in victory lane.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the race.
And that was our current race leader 31 of Andrew Riley. The caution caught him at a very good time. He was about to run out of gas, but after that caution, he was able to pit in and not run out of gas and still maintain the lead. So that's a very, very good thing. We are glad that things worked out for him. But right now, we are back 1 to green, exiting turn 4 this time. The pace car does dip off. Andrew Riley does not hesitate. He puts it down the floor. 58 of Peterson trying to benefit from the 8 of Waylon Williams, who was caught sleeping and takes over second place here. Or takes over second place here before turn 1. And the 5 of Gary Woolbush trying to pass the 64 of Cody McFadden. But McFadden will make the pass successfully. And Gary will try and fall back in line. Nope, he still stays high to most likely get the slingshot off turn 2. And behind him is going to be the 81 of Travis Pryor. For the back in the pack, we have the 97 of Garrett Robinson here overtaking the 25 of Timothy McBray, while following the 57 of Hunter McDaniel, who is being shown a lap down. And Hunter McDaniel right now overtaking the 11 of Ken Ladd, trying to get to the front, trying to get his lap back the hard way, getting around these guys left and right. As though they're sitting on jack stands. He catches the, that's going to be the 41. Got your name on that. That's 41 of Dennis Saint-Germain, who will stay high low to let him by. 78 stays low as well. And his next victim is going to be the 86 of Adam Eisenhower as well, who is in a cluster of his own. And the 19 of Andy Starcher left out high and dry, but still somehow being able to hold off the 86 of Adam Eisenhower will make the pass successfully here on the exit of turn 2. 57 Hunter McDaniel will come with a big run here while taking the 86 of Adam Eisenhower on the inside, or on the outside actually. Well, Dave, looking at Hunter McDaniel right now, he is a lap down, but he is determined to get his lap back the hard way, trying to get to that leader and overtake that leader 31 of Andrew Riley. 86 of Adam Eisenhower getting very, very tight on the inside there, had to let off, which did cost him a little bit of time, and that causes the 57 Hunter McDaniel to get around him successfully, but going back up front, 64 of Cody McFadden here, overtaking the 5 of Gary Woolbush and falling in line behind the 8 of Waylon Williams.
As we see James Peterson there completing the pass over Andrew Riley, taking that race lead away from him, is Andrew Riley running down next to that white line, and James Peterson making that pass on the outside, making it stick. But here comes the 8 of Waylon Williams. He is going to be to the outside. Nope. Cody McFadden is going to hold on to that number 3's position.
And further back in the pack, we do have some more battles going. 41 of Dennis Saint-Germain was losing a lot of time, but has put the hammer down to floor, tired of getting overtaken by these guys, as though he's sitting still, and is now being caught and actually catching up to the 97 of Garrett Robinson. and trying to hold off the 12 of Damian Crump. Damian Crump, who applied pressure, goes to his inside here on the exit of Q on the backstretch, entering turn 3. They might be side by side. Note the 41 of Dennis Saint-Germain does lift to let him by. Dennis is one of the drivers who is conservative. He does save his tires, set himself up for the long run. At the same time, just keeps a low profile in the beginning and puts it down to the floor when it counts. And for the back in the pack, the one of Christopher Clanton right now being overtaken by 6 of Ralph Van der Forst, who is being pushed, or who is pulling the 11 of Ken Ladd, but he does fall in between them to separate them. 11 of Ken Ladd not liking that too much, gonna try and overtake him, but then drifts way too high, loses all his momentum to avoid pushing up into the wall, and because of that he has his inside occupied by the 10 of Caleb Daniels.
Well, going back up front, we actually have another race leader, the 64 of Cody McFadden. On the inside there, James Peterson. He's bringing the 8 of Waylon Williams with him, as James Peterson is stuck on the outside, but he is going to hold on to that number 2 spot.
And Waylon Williams looks like he just got a little bit loose there, and because of that he did lose some time, some speed, some momentum, all his momentum, well, not all his momentum, but some momentum, and that caused the 31 of Andrew Riley to be on his outside and challenge him for that 3rd place spot. And Andrew Riley did get the slingshot off turn number 3 and makes a pass successfully, entering turn 3, or off turn 2 to turn 3. And the 8 of Waylon Williams has no choice but to fall back in line here, and it's going to be single file all the way from 1st place to the 4th place position. 81 Travis Pryor catching up to them slowly but surely. The 40 of Joshua Gillen making his way back here into the 6th place spot after being involved in that last incident that brought out the caution, but has been on the move ever since then to try and head back to the same direction he was headed before he got involved in the incident.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are 70 laps remaining here at Charlotte. We are going to take our first commercial break of the evening, and we'll be right back.
Racing, you wanted the best, you got them for abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the drive for COPD 125 for round 4 of the Extreme Motorsports 99 Pro K&N Series, brought to you by iRacing Broadcast Overlay and Graphics, IBOG or IBOG. And check them out at ibog.co. In perfect timing, a caution has now flown here on lap number 64. We'll try and see if we can find exactly what might have happened and who might have been involved.
Well, Sean, that does look like that is going to be the 97. I saw him sideways of Garrett there, so we are going to take a look here at the 97 of Garrett Robinson as we rewind this back and see if we can see exactly what happened. Looks like he was riding outside with the 4. A little bit of contact with the 4 machine. Gets a little sideways, just enough to bring out the yellow flag.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate indeed for Gary Robinson, but good thing nobody else was involved by the looks of it. So that was definitely some great driving on everybody else's part, some very great awareness in order to avoid making that instant bigger than it actually was. But going back up front, we are still being led by 64 of Cody McFadden, the 58 of James Peterson currently second, 81 Travis Pryor third, the 8 of Waylon Williams fourth, the 31 of Andrew Riley will round up that top 5 this far. And these guys right now, looking at my chart, they have only about all the way from 20 to 27 laps on their tires, and Cody McFadden will try and lead them down a pit road. But we do have one driver staying out. It's going to be 40 of Joshua Gillen that he will take over the race lead here on lap 66. And up in front of Joshua Gillen, we have one driver staying out as well. It's going to be 65 of Marty Ray, who is being shown 2 laps down. So he is hoping to get 1 lap back once we go 1 to green, so it can be back to just 1 lap down. But 65 of Marty Ray is an amazing driver as well. Hasn't had a good race tonight just yet. But that just might change. Things do go from bad to good, from good to bad at a very, very fast rate. And he does know how to get the job done. So with that said, he should be able to get his laps back and lead or contend for the lead with everybody else up front. Going for the back in the pack, Cody McFadden was still able to beat everybody off pit road. Well, actually, scratch that. James Peterson was able to beat him off pit road. All 5, Tommy Amasi. I also have Dennis Saint Germain. So we have a lot of drivers who are staying out here. We only have 18 drivers on the lead lap. David Schnell, who got the waiver on the pace car. Michael Snow, being shown a lap down. 59, David White. Caleb Daniels, Timothy McBrayer, Charles Lemire, Marty Ray, Eli Green, Andy Starcher, Dennis Saint Germain, Ken Ladd, Jason Eisenhower. These guys will be racing very, very hard to try and get their laps back the hard way, or maybe even race for it, to be the next drivers in line for the lucky dog if a caution were to come out the next time once we go green, so they can be able to get their laps back.
Yeah, most definitely there, Sean. We are beyond our halfway point now, 59 laps remaining, and looking right about 29 second to 30 second lap times. So you're looking 2 laps a minute with just under 60 laps. These drivers know that time is starting to run out. They're going to have to implement their pitch strategy here and try to see what they can do.
Oh, absolutely, Dave. And I was actually going to talk about the pit strategy. Last time we had seen the drivers who went the most laps on their tires featured 31 of Andrew Riley. Actually, Andrew Riley was the only one who went the longest on his tires. I believe he had 41 laps on his tires before a caution came out, and that saved his race or his lead. He did talk about how he almost ran out of gas and was going to lose a lot of time and everything. So I'm not sure whether or not 41 laps is when they run the tank dry, but it's very difficult to tell because most of his laps were under caution. So my guess would be pit window should be in between laps 30 through 35. That would be my safest guess. And right now, as we speak, we are now back 1 to green. 58 of James Peterson in the lead with help of 81 of Travis Pryor. 64 of Cody McFadden on the outside with help of 31 of Andrew Riley. And ladies and gentlemen, if you guys would like to be a part of this action, just go to extrememotorsports99.com. Extreme without the E. Just start with the X. extrememotorsports99.com for everything. They do have a lot of series going on, so you guys can join either one based on your experience and where they place you. So you can join the K&N cars on Mondays, or the road course on Mondays, trucks on Tuesdays, B cars or Xfinity cars on Wednesdays, Cup cars on Thursday nights. As right now we do exit turn 4, going green.
Yeah, as they come here out of turn number 4, ready to go, green flag racing. There goes James Peterson. He wasted no time, but right behind him, the 81, Travis Pryor puts it down, and he is going to get around Cody McFadden for that number 2 spot. We are being led by the 58 of James Peterson, but he has got some stiff competition because here comes Travis Pryor. He gets to his back bumper here, coming and going to his inside here, coming down into turn number 3.
And we have had a position change here before the lap is even over. The 8 of Waylon Williams was able to get around the 31 of Andrew Riley for that 4th place position. And we have some more battles going for 2nd place. It's going to be between Travis Pryor and the 64 of Cody McFadden on the outside, who is bump drafting the every living draft off the 58 of Peterson and somehow making the outside line stick. 81 of Travis Pryor did top the apron off turn 2, which did slow him down, and because of that he did lose a lot of time and lost the spot to 64 of Cody McFadden, who is trying to occupy the outside of the 58 of James Peterson, who will drift way high and leaves the door open for 64 of Cody McFadden to take it away. That's one thing about being in the lead, Dave. When you have a driver like Cody McFadden on your rear end, you did see him setting up the 58 of Peterson there. He was all over his rear view mirror and just pretty much riding all lanes possible to try and make sure the 58 of Peterson was looking in his rear view mirror so he can be able to mess him up easily. But right now Peterson is fighting back, trying to take back that race lead here. But 64 of Cody McFadden does propel off turn 4, and that allows the 81 of Travis Pryor to occupy his outside.
Yeah, most definitely. James Peterson is putting up a heck of a battle, but now he's got problems. Here comes the 81 of Travis Pryor on the outside. I can imagine Pat T there in the chat just cheering away as Travis Pryor is going to make the pass for 2nd as coming into turn number 3.
Oh, we have one driver in the wall. It's going to be 6 of Ralph Vanderforce. This wall did suck him in, but he was able to fight back. And that does cost him a little bit of time because he lost all his speed, all his momentum, and has to do it all over again. But he did have, he's given the car the least damage possible from smacking the wall. So he should still be able to get back up to speed and still stay competitive with these guys. But going up in front of him, we do have a cluster going on here. It's going to be between or among Garrett Robinson, the 12 Damian Crump, Christopher Clanton, and the 86 of Adam Eisenhower.
Yeah, they got a pretty good group there. Them guys are fast as we see 3 wide through the dog leg with the 1 machine of Christopher Clanton in the middle, the 12 on Crump on the outside, Garrett Robinson on the inside as they make it work. Get back down here into single file, but here comes the 5 of Gary Wobold as well.
Man, that one of Chris Clanton in the 3 wide action there, he was getting some bad air from both sides of that side draft. And because of that, he was pushing tight and pushing up the track, so he had no choice but to back it down to avoid causing trouble. And because of that, he did lose another spot to the driver up in front of me, and that's going to be the 97 of Garrett Robinson. So he has to back it up and do it all over again. And speaking of Garrett Robinson, he is charging the back bumper of the 12 of Damian Crump, who in turn is all over the 86 of Adam Eisenhower. And up front, we do have a battle going on, Dave, here between 25 of Timothy McBrayer and the 8 of Waylon Williams. And this is now lap number 74. This gives us 50 laps remaining. So these guys, Dave, should be able to make it on one more pit stop.
Yeah, most definitely here. So some tire conservation may be planned, but on up front here, it looks like we are still being led by the 64 of Cody McFadden. But he has got the 81 of Travis Pryor just following him move for move as they are starting to pull away from the rest of the field there, Sean.
Oh yeah, them riding single file like that and giving each other some pushes here on the straightaways is benefiting them in a very, very great way. They have the 58 of Peterson in their sights, the 8 Waylon Williams, and also, actually, that's going to be the top 4 are less than a second of each other, within less than a second of each other, but then going all the way from 5th place back to about, let's see, 10th place. Those guys are also within a second of each other, but 3 seconds behind the leaders. So they have separated themselves from everybody else and just might have a fight of their own once those green flag pit stops kick in. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we do have one more round of pit stops in order to take place for these guys, for them to be able to make it all the way. So it's going to make things very, very interesting. And Dave, when we talk to the 31 of Andrew Riley, he did talk about how his biggest goal was to save tires and stay alive. And that's exactly what he's doing. And ever since then, he has sustained some left side damage. He almost makes contact with the 18 of Rick Mason. They were able to keep off each other. But Andrew Riley there does have some left side damage, some left front damage. You can see his wheel sticking out of his hood there. So it most likely is affecting his performance here. But he's still doing an amazing job keeping up.
Yeah, most definitely here. Lap 80 of 125, 46 laps to go. I figure we may see some pit stops here within the next 5 to 10 laps here, as that means they'll be able to make it as Andrew Riley gets up into that outside wall again, but he's able to keep it up there as let everybody get by, so we will stay green flag racing.
And that's very, very unfortunate for Andrew Riley, having a tough time so far, has been involved in almost 2 incidents here in less than in the exact same lap. Or he will stay high there to let everybody by, because he's now way off the pace because he just sustained some more left side damage. They're going to take a car 3 wide there. Oh, they make contact. That's going to be a 40. They're going to be wrecking there, entering turn 1. Is a caution going to fly? Oh, big wreck, an even bigger wreck there. Entering turn 1, one driver flying in the air, went sky high. That's going to involve the 40 of Joshua Gillen. Andy Starch on his lid. Andy Starch getting the worst end of that deal. And it's 78 of Leonard West. Let's back it up and focus on the 40 of Joshua Gillen on replay.
Well, as we focus on the 40, contact between him and the 31 of Andrew Riley gets him loose. He goes up into the wall, goes airborne, and gets spun around. So let's take a look here, see what he saw from the cockpit view. He was just going really slow there and just happened to make some contact there with the 31 machine. You see him trying to work the wheel, but unfortunately back up into the track. And around and over end he goes, making the viewers a little dizzy at home there watching it from the cockpit view.
Oh, man. Yep, Joshua Gillen did go for a ride of the lifetime, same as the 19 of Andy Starcher, and both drivers are on pit road getting some damage fixed. Both drivers did end up blowing their motors, and hopefully they do have one of their 2 backup cars that they started with here in tonight's race, but very, very unfortunate indeed for every single driver involved in that. And Dave, that's the worst thing about a track like this. The banking is so huge that it works against you when you're sideways.
Yeah, we did have one driver stay out. That is going to be Rick Mason. He is going to be our new race leader. Everybody else down on pit road, except for everybody that is a lap or more down here. Looks like the 78 machine Leonard West is going to get the wave around, get the lucky dog, and back on the lead lap.
Yeah, great job by the 78 of Leonard West. And some drivers who are happy to see that caution, all these drivers who are a lap or more down, and also the 31 of Andrew Riley, who was having a rough time there. He sustained a lot of damage under green flag racing conditions. So he was very happy to see the caution and will be able to go down to pit road and get that damage fixed. Actually, speaking of Andrew Riley, he is back on the racing surface as we speak here. He has a brand new machine, not a single scratch on that one. That pit crew giving him the brand new machine out of his truck or hauler. And he will be behind the 66 of Ralph van der Forst and the 86, actually the 64 of Cody McFadden, being shown as our current race leader. Oh, we have some contact on the entrance to pit road. Looks like no harm was done there. Some big checkups, some heavy checkups. Checkups mean the drivers are slowing down or are braking. And that did cause some contact among the drivers, but no harm done. Everything still square. Right now behind the pace car, we do have the 4 of Michael Snow. We have Ken Ladd. We have the, David White. These 3 drivers staying behind the pace car to get 1 lap back.
Yeah, but behind them, it looks like the 64 of Cody McFadden is still going to be our race leader. but the 8 of Waylon Williams is going to move up into the number 2 spot. Travis Pryor dropping back into the 3rd spot. James Peterson will be starting 4th. And there's the 97 of Garrett Robinson up into the top 5. Taking a look at the points, though, Garrett Robinson may jump 6 positions at the end of race number 3 to jump into the top 5 in points. So this is definitely going to help him maybe gain a spot or 2 here in the season point standing as well.
Oh, absolutely. Has come a long way. This guy knows how to get the job done in the beginning there. We did see him having some bad luck and racing mid to rear pack, but now has become comfortable or gotten comfortable around all these guys, all these other drivers. So he definitely is bringing his A game. And in last race we had for round 3 at Kansas, he was able to finish in the top 3 in the 3rd place position, and all those guys get the wave around the pace car. We are now back 1 to green. 6-4 of Cody McFadden still in the lead. The 81 of Travis Pryor right behind him. The 8 of Waylon Williams on the outside. The help of 58 of James Peterson. Well, Dave, something tells me these guys are gonna need a splash of gas.
Yeah, I think so. We did see Andrew Riley go 40 plus miles or 40 plus laps there before. But we got to figure in there was a lot of pace laps in there, as they had an issue on the start and race control was trying to get it, so they paced a high amount of laps. So the question is how many laps can they really go before they'll need that fuel?
Oh yeah, so we're gonna keep our fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen. These drivers still need at least a splash of gas in order to be able to make it all the way. So we should expect some pit stops to come before this thing is over. The pace car does dip off. Cody puts it down to floor. He does not hesitate. The 8 of Waylon Williams caught sleeping again. 81 of Travis Pryor will benefit from it. Goes from 3rd place to 2nd place for the lap is even over. 58 of James Peterson battling the 97 of Garrett Robinson for the 4th place spot. And right now James on the outside line falls in line behind 97 of Garrett Robinson, who was able to make the pass successfully against him. And for the back in the pack, it's about Adam Eisenhower behind the 5, actually ahead of the 5 of Gary Woobot, and behind him is the 66 of Ralph Vanderforst.
Yeah, we did see earlier Adam Eisenhower, he led 36 laps at the start of this race. Went down for a green flag pit stop, got caught with a caution. So he's had to work his way from the back of the field up into the 7th position. But he's also got the 12 of Damian Crump right there in front of him as well. As we are now 39 laps to go here till the checkered flag.
And right now, Dave, I'm focused on the back of the pack here with the 66 of Ralph Vanderforst. This driver was able to take the pole at the last race we had at Kansas Speedway and had some bad luck. And on the last lap there, ended up making some contact with the driver for 3rd place. And after that, he finished in the 5th place spot. So tonight, he is very hungry, trying to take this win away from the 6-4 of Cody McFadden. Because if Cody McFadden wins this race tonight, that will give him a 3rd win in a row, because he did win at Atlanta and last week at Kansas. So these drivers are all trying their best to avoid him getting a 3rd win in a row, especially the 6 of Ralph Vanderforst, and a lot of drivers like 81 of Travis Pryor as well.
Yeah, most definitely, but going back up front, we are still being led by McFadden, but he has got Travis Pryor right there behind him, as they have actually pulled a gap between them and the 8 and 97 machines as they are battling out. James Peterson now battling with the 12 of Damian Crump. Oh, James Peterson into the outside wall. He is going to hold it up against the wall, let everybody go by so he doesn't bring out the yellow. We are going to stay green flag racing, but he is real slow up on that outside lane.
Wow, Dave, I'm not sure if you saw that, but the 58 of Peterson was riding that wall. His 2 wheels, or his right wheels actually, were on top of the wall, while his other 2 wheels, the left wheels that is, were on the racing surface. I'm surprised that he was able to keep that together. And right now, letting everybody by. He will most likely be going down a pit road. Yes, he will. He is on the apron, and the speed is getting nothing but lower. He is in the brakes, pitting in this time by an unscheduled pit stop. Very unfortunate for Peterson.
Well, the good thing is all the viewers at home got to see what it was like from the cockpit as we were riding inside the car with 58 of James Peterson. As you said, he was doing a wall ride there. But going back up front, here comes Travis Pryor looking to the inside of Cody McFadden. We have a battle for the race lead here coming into turn 1. Looks like Travis Pryor is going to lead by just an edge. Yes, he is. He is going to complete the pass over the 64 of Cody McFadden and take the race lead. We know Pat T is out there screaming at that computer or TV, just yelling, "Go, Travis, go!"
Oh, absolutely. Very, very nice move by the 81 of Travis Pryor. And Dave, we had some trouble in the back. The 78 of Leonard West had some bad luck on the exit of turn 4. He did smack the wall, which sent him into the grass and onto pit road speeding. So he most likely got an unsafe pit entrance and a black flag for speeding. So that is double the penalty. Very, very unfortunate for Leonard West. But right now he is getting back up to speed. Most likely going to be going down a pit road. I believe, Dave, I'm not sure if, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you can go 2 to 3 laps with a black flag before you get disqualified.
Yeah, you only got a couple of laps before you got to go down and serve that before they disqualify you, make you take your car back into the hauler and put it on the hauler. But, so that's highly unfortunate there, but taking a look here at the number 12, Damian Crump moved up into the 5th position. He has got the 86 of Adam Eisenhower, who has led 36 laps, led the most laps so far here tonight. But I tell you what, Cody McFadden has led 32 laps here. But as we've seen, Travis Pryor is now under fire. Here comes the 64 of Cody McFadden, all over that back bumper, wanting to take that lead away from him again.
Oh yeah, Cody will trying to set him up as just like he was trying to set up 58 of James Peterson for that race lead early on in tonight's race. And for the back in the pack, we do have the that's gonna be the 05 of Tommy Masi here, just having a Sunday drive behind the 5 of Gary Woolbot and in front of the 31 of Andrew Riley. These guys just riding nose to tail, most likely backing off, Dave, to save gas.
Yeah, they're gonna have to save a little bit of gas here. Let's see, we have 30 laps to go and we are under caution.
Oh, he developed 34 of David Schneer and the 10 of Caleb Daniels. Holy cow. Let's back it up and focus on the 34 of David Schneer on replay.
Yeah, as we pull up the Dre broadcast in replay, we see the 34 of David Schneer. He's going to make contact with that wall coming out of 4. It's going to send him around. And unfortunately, the 10 machine had nowhere to go. Got collected up into that as we are going to take a look here from the blimp view. As we see Flair coming through 3 and 4, but on the exit of 4, he just slides right up, catches that little lip of the wall. That's going to send him around, overcorrected the steering right up into the 10. And, oh, that is highly unfortunate, but that is going to shake it up as these drivers will get a chance here to pit and be able to make it on fuel.
Oh man, Dave, half the field right now is smiling for this caution. They are very happy to see this caution because, yeah, like you had said, they will be able to make it or should be able to make it from now on, because once we go green, we should have less than 20, safe to say less than 27 laps to go until it's over. So this is going to shake things up. But right now, unfortunately, 34 of David Schneer is on pit road. 11 of Ken Ladd, who T-boned him at a very, very high speed. He's on pit road as well. They both blew their motors after that hard impact. And so they are getting some, actually being towed to pit road as we speak. And hopefully they still do have one of their 2 backup cars handy so they can be able to stay in it for the last remainder of this race. But everybody at this point is on pit road. But we do have some drivers staying out. All the drivers, okay, most drivers who are a lap or more down. We have Michael Snow, Leonard West, James Peterson, Joshua Gillen, Eli Green, Marty Ray, David White, Dennis St. Germain, Andy Starcher, and Timothy McBrayer.
Well, just watching the race off pit road, it looks like it is going to be won by the 12 of Damian Crump. Hunter McDaniel's going to come off pit road second, Travis Pryor third, Waylon Williams fourth, Cody McFadden fifth. So that is going to shake up our top 5 here with under 30 laps to go.
And speaking of Damian Crump, looks like Damian Crump gained about 4 to 5 spots there on pit road. And look at his pit time, David does explain it. His pit stop was 7.9 seconds compared to that of everybody else, which were above 13 seconds. So Damian Crump definitely took 2 tires while everybody else took 4.
Yeah, most definitely. Definitely a gamble here, but I don't know. It may pay off for him, but we're going to find out, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And from my experience here at the tracks like these, taking 2 tires rather than 4 tires does cause your car to be a little bit unbalanced. So you might be a little bit loose or maybe even tight, just depending on the racing surface. But this will definitely be an eye-opener. We're going to see exactly how this affects him, or maybe it doesn't affect him at all. And right now we had most drivers who I talked about who were a lap or more down ended up going down a pit road, but we do still have some staying out. The 40 of Joshua Gillen, 65 Marty Ray, 58 of James Peterson. James Peterson using up his second backup car, I believe. So he does have all his damage fixed with a brand new machine after riding that wall for his second instance. Very, very unfortunate for James. He is an amazing driver, knows how to get the job done, but these races have not been going his way lately. Just like the last one at Kansas, he was doing very well there, but the exit of turn 2 wall did end up claiming him, which did slow him down a lot. And looking at the drivers who have moved up, Dave, we have 81 of Travis Pryor going all the way from the 15th place spot, currently 3rd. The leader as well, actually, Damian Crum from 16th to the lead. 64 of Cody McFadden from 11th to 5th. We have also the 5 of Gary Woolbot from 27th to 10th.
Not sure what's going on, but the 81 machine of Travis Pryor back down on pit road as we are now 1 to green.
Looking at Travis Pryor right now, his right side does go up. His left side goes up, so he's taking 4 more tires here. Can never be too content. So he's now rolling off pit road for his final pit stop of the night, hopefully. But yep, we are now back 1 to green. The 12 of Damian Crump in the lead with the help of the 8 of Waylon Williams. On the outside, 57 of Hunter McDaniel with the help of 64 of Cody McFadden. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us once again for the drive for COPD 125 for round 4 of the Extreme Motorsports 99 Pro Can-N Series, brought to you by iRacing Broadcast Overlay and Graphics iBog. Check them out at ibog.co or ibog.co with Jason Allison. As we exit turn number 4, this time by the 12 of Damian Crump will lead them. The pace car dips off. He's still holding pace speed. He puts it down. It does catch him off guard. Hunter McDaniel sees it coming. The 8 of Williams tries to benefit from it, but has no luck because Hunter McDaniel did get a better start. 64 of Cody McFadden here on the outside will fall short to the 8 of Waylon Williams on the inside line. And Gary Robinson here right now battling the 86 of Adam Eisenhower for the 5th place spot. Well, Dave, since at this point we are very sure that these guys should be able to make it all the way, it is go time for the drivers.
Yeah, most definitely here. So 25 laps to go. They should be able to make it. I'm not exactly sure, but we're going to find out. As Damian Crump is actually starting to pull away from the 57 of Hunter McDaniel, but I tell you what, Cody McFadden there still trying on the outside to get around the 8 of Waylon Williams. He is going to complete the pass on the exit of turn number 2 and coming here into turn number 3.
And further back in the pack, 05 of Tommy Amasi applying pressure to the 31 of Andrew Riley for the 9th place position. 05 of Tommy Amasi here, who finished in the 4th place spot last race at Kansas Speedway for round number 3 here. Is trying to redeem himself to try and advance his spot here into the top 3, or maybe even bring this thing home away from 6-4 of Cody McFadden, and is just riding behind the 31 of Andrew Riley. And Andrew Riley definitely does notice his presence in his rearview mirror, but is handling the pressure quite well. And for the back in the pack, the 18 of Rick. Oh, we have some 3 wide going on here. It's going to be between the 13 Eli Green, 11 Ken Ladd, they're wrecking. 11 of Ken Ladd on his lid. The 48 of Christopher gets spun out sideways. The caution will fly. And the 11 of Ken Ladd got the worst end of that deal. He was flipping on his lid. Let's actually ride on the in-car with the 11 of Ken Ladd on replay.
Well, as we pull up the Dre Broadcasting replay, we're going to rewind here, see exactly what happened. Is we saw him going 3 wide here on the exit. Is the 11 in the middle. The 48 kind of comes up. The 11 goes up to try to avoid him, makes contact, and goes on that outside wall and slides on his lid.
That might be the 3rd or 4th car we've seen flying left and right in every direction possible on his lid. And that one of Chris Clanton got just a little piece of the flipping driver before he flipped. The 11 of Ken Ladd there, because he did pit him unintentionally there once the contact was made. But very, very unfortunate for all drivers involved in that. And let's see, the drivers who pitted in last caution we had, now have 8 laps on their tires. And going back up from the 12, Damian Crump still in the lead. 6-4, Cody McFadden second, Hunter McDaniel third, Waylon Williams fourth, and Garrett Robinson fifth. And so far the leader decides to stay out, but some drivers will pit in, namely Waylon Williams, Garrett Robinson, Tommy Amasi, Chris Clanton. And this is the 20 to go mark on lap number 106. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, it is go time for these drivers. And hopefully those guys who just pitted in will be able to work through this field here, since they will be having less laps on their tires. But it's going to be difficult to tell just yet, even though they will have 8 lap newer tires compared to those leaders. And we do have one driver again the wave around the pacer. It's going to be the 4 of Michael Snow. And this does give us some time for a race interview. So let's focus on the 1 of Chris Clanton. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have the 1 of Chris Clanton up here. That's good up there, buddy.
I got you.
How you doing tonight?
Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear. Can you hear me?
I got you.
There we go. How you doing tonight?
Pretty good. You know, we're having some bad luck, but there's nothing you could do.
Absolutely, brother, but we were glad that you were able to make it tonight's race. Despite everything you went through tonight, you tried your best to make the best of it and head the right direction. But unfortunately, trouble was able to find you, even though you were doing your best to avoid it for the most part all night long. But how's been the car? How's the car handling?
It's been good. You know, we had a fast car. We just had, you know, that bad luck there with finally got back to the top 10 and lap car, you know, being aggressive. But our car was real good, you know. Just can't thank everybody enough for helping out and getting this deal going. It's been a great series to run in. We just have been getting wrecked with some bad luck.
Well, buddy, we are very sorry to hear about your bad luck in the series so far, but we are glad to see you coming back week after week, hoping for better races and giving competition to these guys the best you can. But with that said, buddy, should we expect to see you come back at Dover? And if so, what should we expect from you?
Yeah, we definitely gonna come back for some more races. You know, we had Kansas a couple weeks ago that we got to the lead and had a internet issue. So, but I've definitely enjoyed the series and definitely gonna come back.
Oh, absolutely, brother. You have been doing an amazing job, and you are an amazing driver. I want to congratulate you on that, commend you on that. And well, buddy, I will hope that your pitch was enough time to beat that machine out. This race is far from over, so you still have enough time to, even if you're not going to win tonight's race, you still can advance your spot. So don't give up. Keep your head high as usual. Keep your foot down to the floor. Keep your 4 wheels on the racing surface, and make us proud.
10-4, yeah, we got about 30 seconds more of repairs, but we're only 1 lap down. I'm sure we can't get back into the top 10, maybe top 5 if we get some good luck here.
Oh, 10-4, that is the spirit. Well, good luck to you, buddy.
Thank you.
And that was the 1 of Christopher Clanton here, getting his last few seconds of repairs. Very determined to get the job done despite having some bad luck in tonight's race and last week at Kansas, like he had talked about. But it's very good to see them coming back, hoping for good races, and he definitely does know how to get the job done. And the pace car does dip off. The green flag flies, and the 12 of Crump puts it down to the floor. 57 Hunter McDaniel on the inside, caught sleeping. Ralph Vanderforst behind him with the aces of Adam Eisenhower, side by side, entering turn 1. And the leaders, Cody McFadden and the 12 of Crump, do go back single file immediately on the exit of turn 2. Adam Eisenhower doing an amazing job keeping the 6s of Ralph Vanderforst on his outside, or trying to keep him behind him for the most part.
Well, look here in 7th position. We got Travis Pryor making moves. He started that restart 9th already gained 2 positions as he gets to the inside there of the 31 of Andrew Riley, wanting to take away that 6th position. He is working his way back through the field here. So he is now overtaken Andrew Riley for number 6 and moving up as he is now focused on catching the 66 of Ralph Vandervorst.
And we have a driver making some moves here for the back in the pack. 05 Tommy Amasi starting 31st, currently 11th. Just overtook the 48 of Christopher Smith, and his next victim, the 5 of Gary Woolbot. And Gary right now is behind the 18 of Rick Mason, who in turn is behind the 31 of Andrew Riley. Andrew Riley definitely feeling the pressure at this point because these guys are catching out to him at a very, very fast rate because of that draft keeping them together, so he can't get away from them as easily as he might think. And up in front of the 31 of Andrew Riley, he does have the 81 Travis Pryor, 60 Ralph Vandervorst, 86 Adam Eisenhower. Single foul, and the caution does fly here on lap 111. We're going to back it up and see who might have been involved.
Well, that is going to involve the 36 of Jason Eisenhower as we pull up our Dre Broadcasting replay here. Focusing on the 36 of Jason Eisenhower. Riding up outside of the wall, coming here into the turn, running the middle lane. Looks like a little bit of net code, not quite sure, but maybe some contact between him and the 13. Gets him spun around here as we're going to take another look here. Yeah, definitely some major net code there involving him and the 13 machine. As you can see from the replay, they were had some distance here. It's unfortunately something we have to deal with here on iRacing, but they are going to get back out. I don't see any other contact made, so I think for the most part this should be pretty good as we are still being led by the 12 of Damian Crump.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate indeed for all drivers involved in that. And up front here, the 12 of Crump still in the lead with the 64 of Cody McFadden behind him. Hunter McDaniel 3rd, Adam Eisenhower 4th, and Ralph Vandervorst in that 5th place position. And once we go green, Dave, we just might have 9 to 10 laps remaining. So it definitely will shake things up. And look at that, Dave. One driver getting the waiver on. It's the 58 of James Peterson, who has been having the worst luck tonight, riding the wall, going sideways every now and then in tonight's race here at Charlotte, but has pulled through it. And is going to be back on the lead lap here, this time by very, very great job on his part, staying ahead of everybody else. Joshua Gillen, Chris Clanton, Marty Ray, David Schneer, all those guys. He was raced for the Lucky Dog. And ladies and gentlemen, this does give us some time to get a race interview in. So let's focus on one of the drivers as well, who's been having not so good of a race tonight. The 4 of Michael Snow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have the driver here, the 4 of Michael Snow. Get a cup there, buddy.
Yes, sir.
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing just fine. I'm happy to be back on the lead lap here.
Well, buddy, it's good to see you back on the lead lap. We had seen you battling these guys for that Lucky Dog all night long tonight, and you had a rough start to it, but so far he has seemed to be getting better. As we had seen you battling these guys left and right despite your damage. But how's the race going so far?
That's really good. Pushing the heck out of 3 and 4 there. That's just where everyone's struggling though.
Oh, 10-4, brother. Well, we are glad that you are able to not get claimed by turn 4 there and staying alive, getting your lap back and being back on the lead lap when it matters the most. Once we go green, I believe you guys just might have 10 or less than 10 laps remaining, which will shake things up.
It's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a hell of a show.
And with that said, you think what it takes to advance your spot or even bring this thing home?
I don't know about bringing it home, but I'm going to get as many spots. I'm looking for a solid top 10 here, bring it home for the team.
Oh, that's the spirit right there, brother. Well, buddy, before I let you go, any final words?
All right.
Good luck, buddy.
Thanks, sir.
And that was the 4 of Michael Snow getting his lap back when it really matters the most, and will be in it to win it for the last 10 laps here before the checkered flag flies. And by the looks of it, we are back 1 to green. And Dave, I just forgot how quick the cautions are, or the caution laps are, at Charlotte.
Yeah, that's a good thing about here about short tracks, though. Laps are pretty quick here, so we are going to be going green. 10-lap shootout for the checkered flag in the drive for COPD 125 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yep, in this lineup, we have Damian Crump with help, 57 Hunter McDaniel, 64 of Cody McFadden on the outside, the help with 86 of Adam Eisenhower. And we enter turns number 3 and 4, going green this time by. We'll be having 10 laps to go on start finish line. Well, Dave, do the honors.
Well, as they come here out of turn number 4, getting ready to go green flag, the pace car is off. Damian Crump wastes no time putting that hammer down. The 57 Hunter McDaniel looking to capitalize and make the pass here on Cody McFadden, but Cody McFadden here fighting back on the outside.
Adam Eisenhower trying to assist Cody McFadden on the outside, but they do fall short. They run out of luck there, and they do fall short. The caution will fly here as they exit turn number 2. We're going to back it up and see who might have been involved. Oh, 59 of David White smoking heavily from the rear end. Let's back it up on the 59 of David White on replay.
Well, as we pull up the replay here on the start, coming here into turn 1, he is going to go high, come down low. He is going to be taking 3 wide, and he gets up into, I do believe that's the one machine there. I think that's who was involved in that as well. Yes, that is going to be the one machine of Christopher Clanton, also involved in that.
Yeah, very unfortunate indeed for all drivers involved. 58 of Peterson was able to sneak past that without a single scratch, and unfortunately we have lost one driver, the one of Christopher Clanton. When we talked to him up here, he was getting some damage fixed, and that incident right there did end up blowing his motor, so he had no choice but to retire for the night. Very unfortunate, but he is a determined driver, and we'll definitely look forward to seeing him back with everybody else next week for round 5, the Lucas Oil 200 at Dover International Speedway. We're going back up front. The 12 of Crump still in the lead, with the 12, actually 57 of Hunter McDaniel second, Cody McFadden third, 66 of Ralph Vanderforst fourth, and the 86 of Adam Eisenhower in the 5th place spot. And once we go green, we'll be having less than 6 laps remaining. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting close to the end of tonight's race, and these guys do know that. They are trying to find 5th gear, or trying to occupy the exact same real estate, so which makes it very difficult. Unfortunately, we can only have one winner at these races, even though they are all winners. We do have one driver again. The wave around the pace car is going to be the 40 of Joshua Gillen, back on the lead lap here on lap 118. Great job, Joshua. And Joshua Gillen as well was one of the drivers who spoke a lot of tonight. We did actually have a word with him up here in the booth during one of the cautions early on in tonight's race. And his goal was to just stay alive. And he talked about how the car was pushing and getting loose in the long run. But he did have some bad luck after that and was able to pull through it just like everybody else, like Michael Snow and 58 of Peterson and Andrew Riley. And is now back on the lead lap here when it really matters the most. And this now as well does give us some time to get another race interview in. So let's focus on the 18 of Rick Mason. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have the 18 of Rick Mason up here. That's look up there, buddy.
I got you.
How you doing tonight?
Pretty good. How about you?
Doing good too, thank you. Just enjoying seeing you going around the track with these guys, battling them the best you can. How's the race going so far?
It is going better than I anticipated. There's quite a bit of bumping and banging, and for whatever reason, I'm finding myself going right through it.
Oh man, we are glad to hear that. That's very, very good to hear. Yeah, despite all the competition going on around you, you're able to sneak past it. And early on, we noticed you were involved in a couple of instances. We are glad that you were able to have your pit crew work on your machine and give you a brand new one, actually, because right now you don't have a single scratch on that machine. And how's the car's handling?
The car's handling pretty well. I had some great advice a little bit earlier, and that seems to be paying off. And you know, the key thing for me is just, you know, watch the other drivers around me and make sure I give them some room and make sure they give me some room.
Oh, copy that. And Rick, ever since you got your brand new car there, you have been headed the right direction here, currently in the 10th place spot. With that said, should we expect to see you in the top 5, top 3, or maybe even on the pole?
If the cautions are very few, I would stand a chance at least a top 5. That's what I'm shooting for.
Oh, 10-4, bro. That's definitely better than the 10th place spot you currently are in. Well, buddy, you are now 1 to green. It is go time, and good luck to you, buddy. Headed the right direction. Keep doing exactly what you're doing.
Hey, thank you very much.
And that was the 18 of Rick Mason. Here we are back 1 to green. Once we go green, we'll be having 5 laps remaining. I'm not sure if we have a caution. That just might end the race, but it's difficult to tell at the moment. Here we're entering turns number 3 and 4. Going green this time by, ladies and gentlemen. It's go time. It's going to be a wild finish. Hang on to your seats. Get your popcorn ready. The pace car dips off. That 12 of Crump puts it down the floor. He does not hesitate. 6-4 of Cody McFadden trying to occupy the inside of the 57 Hunter McDonough. He does occupy it. And they will battle side by side for the 2nd place spot here before turn 1. And Ralph Vanderforst there battling the 81 of Travis Pryor. Was trying to sneak in the inside, but had no choice but to stay high as he was occupying his inside. And Adam Eisenhower behind him. They're going to try and bump draft him here on the straightaway. And Hunter McDaniel there on the outside trying to battle both the 81 of Travis Pryor and the 64 of Cody McFadden.
Yeah, as they come out of turn number 4, coming 4 laps to go, next flag ends the race. Whether it's a caution flag or the checker flag, Travis Pryor started that restart 6th. Has moved up into the 4th position, but he is battling the 57 of Hunter McDaniel there on the outside. He is going to get around him. Hunter tries to crossover. Cody McFarland is now all over the back bumper there of Damian Crump, but here comes Travis Pryor as he is almost makes contact with the wall going high, but he is trying to get up here and battle these guys as well.
And Ralph Vanderforst on the outside line. They're trying to make the outside line work. Has been doing this all race long. It will be taken 3 wide by Guy Robinson and the 86 of Adam Eisenhower. Yes, they make it stick. Guy Robinson going in the middle here, in between him and the 15 Hunter McDonough and the 60 Ralph Vanderforst. They must make contact. They do make contact. 60 Ralph Vanderforst gets into the wall, racking there, entering turn 3. The 97 of Guy Robinson riding on one of the other cars. The caution flies off turn number 4. So many different incidents going on. The 86 of Ralph Vanderforst involved. Also the 81 of Travis Pryor. Unfortunately, heavy damage on that machine. And that just might end the race. But let's back it up and focus on the 81 of Travis Pryor on replay.
Well, as we focus on the 81 of Travis Pryor, looks like some contact between him and Crump there. So I'm going to rewind this again. As he looks like he was coming down just a little hotter. Looks like, oh, yep, right into the back end there, a 12 of Damian Crump. And then that just caused a big checkup and a big pow up behind him.
Oh, man, very, very unfortunate indeed. That was going to be a wild finish. That's what happens when it's less than 5 laps to go. These drivers do go wild because they're trying to be in the best spot. They do know that the last flag ends the race. So they were trying to give it their all. And unfortunately, it ended badly for a couple of them, but we'd look for it. There was some great driving on every driver's part. And that 81 of Travis Pryor bumped down to the 9th place spot. And up front, Cody McFadden. Cody McFadden in the lead. This gives him his 3rd win in a row. Holy cow. And we have one driver getting away from the pace car, the 65 of Marty Ray.
Yep, so it looks like it's going to be Cody McFadden, Damian Crump, and Hunter McDaniel, your top 3, with the 05 of Tommy Amassi taking that number 4 position.
And Damian Crump Dave was barely able to get the second place spot he currently is in as we speak, and he has his biggest opponent in front of him, the 6'12 Cody McFadden, who just took over the points away from Damian Crump, and he does know that. So it's going to be a brawl between these two drivers next week at Dover International. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you do not miss that race. And once again, thank you for joining us for the drive for COPD 125. This was round 4 of the Extreme Motorsports 99 Pro Can-N Series, brought to you by iRacing Broadcast Overlay and Graphics, iBog, IBOG. Check them out at ibog.co. And by them, I mean Jason Allison, who is the owner of iBog. Well, looks like that ends the race. Cody McFadden brings it home. 12 of Damian Crump second, 57 Hunter McDaniel third, 05 Tommy Massey fourth, and that's Tommy Massey's second fourth place finish in a row, and the 31 of Andrew Riley with a top 5. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will be interviewing the top 3 drivers: Cody McFadden, Damian Crump, and Hunter McDaniel. So stay tuned. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have our top 3 drivers up here. That's also being joined by the 5 of Gary Woolbot. We'll start with tonight's race winner, having a 3rd win in a row after winning at Atlanta, last week at Kansas, and tonight here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Get a call up there again, Cody.
Yes, I do.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing up there?
Oh man, doing great. Couldn't be better. Man, you guys have put on a heck of a show as usual. You guys were just battling a lot, and we saw you setting up a lot of guys for that race lead. And before you took the race lead, because tonight you started in 11th place position, you were battling these guys the best you could, executed some green flag pit stops. Well, tell us about, just give us a summary of your race tonight.
Yeah, well, I started back a little further tonight and just tried to be patient and work my way up through there. Overall, it was fun time there at the end of the race. I got into Damien a little bit, and I wanted to let him back by so that I didn't pass that way because I don't want to win that way. But it was a good race. Definitely tough tonight.
Oh, absolutely, and man, this draft, the draft tonight did keep you guys bunched up. We did see you trying your best to separate yourself from everybody else behind you, but they were able to keep you in their sights. And also, speaking of the 12 of Damian Crump, you just actually took over the points away from him, the points lead, that is. So he is hungry. Take it away back from you for next week at Dover. And with that said, what should we expect to see from you at Dover? Should we expect to see a 4th win in a row?
I hope so. I don't know, though. I'm not... haven't really raced there too much, so we'll see how it goes.
Oh, that's all you can do, brother. Well, you do know how to get the job done. You've won these 3 races this far. With that said, it's far from over, but you have been doing an amazing job. So with that said, you do have what it takes to bring it home again next week at Dover. Before I let you go, but any final words?
Just thank you guys up there, and thank Vern and Rick for putting this on, and everybody racing clean, and it's really fun to be a part of this.
Congratulations again for your 3rd win in a row, brother, and look forward to seeing you again next week at Dover. Have a good night.
Thank you, you too.
And that was tonight's race winner, having a 3rd win in a row here. The 6'4 of Cody McFadden, but right behind him is the 12 of Damian Crump. You gotta go there, Damian.
Yes, I do. Haven't heard from you guys in a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. How you doing?
Doing good. Just was on nerves the last 20 laps of the race.
Oh, I can only imagine. We noticed on that last pit stop you guys had, you decided to take 2 tires compared to everybody else who took 4 tires, and because of that, I believe you gained a couple of spots on pit road. Very nice done on your part. But how did that affect your machine?
Ooh, it tightened it up too much. But after Kansas, I needed to get some points to lead some laps so I can get back up in the mix for the points lead.
Oh, absolutely. You have to do exactly what it takes. And give us a rundown of the last couple of laps there, because, man, you were under pressure.
Pretty much, I just had to close, hit the gas, and just keep going. And I knew Cody was coming because it was him and Hunter that were on my back. And he bumped me out of the way, which, honestly, I don't blame him for it because my car was tight and I couldn't get it slowed down enough. So he did what he needed to do and what he had to do because it was not his fault. So it was all mine. I take 100% of that. So he deserved the win.
Oh, 10-4, brother, but we were glad that you were able to keep these guys behind you for the most part and deal with a very tight car and of a tightened car than normal with these guys, and was able to still maintain that second place spot, and instead of having a worse finish than that, you were able to maintain it. And also last week you finished below the top 10 there. You had a bad race which did cause you to lose, I believe, let's see, 7 spots in the points. And in the beginning of this race you were tied with 3 drivers in points, or 2 other drivers, Travis Pryor and Gary Woobot. So this definitely has made a tiebreaker for you. And with that said, should we expect to see greater momentum gain for next week at Dover from you?
I believe so. I believe that we have a car that can probably at least stay in the top 5, top 10. Dover's not my best track, but I have been able to pull out some things out of the rear tailpipe of my cars before, so we're going to hope for that.
Oh, that is very, very good to hear, and very, very something to look forward to for the viewers out there and for us up here in the booth. But brother, before we let you go, any final words?
Just like to thank all my friends that have helped me through a tough time that I've been having. I'd like to thank all of them and keeping my spirits up, which allows me to keep doing what I love doing and racing in front of you guys.
Well, brother, you do an amazing job. We want to commend you on that. You do give these guys a run for their money, especially the biggest opponent here tonight. And in the points, the 6'4" of Cody McFadden, because we do know you will be trying to take what was rightfully yours, which was that points lead. Well, but have a good night, and once again, congratulations.
All right, thank you. You guys have a good night, too.
And that was Damian Crump, but right behind him is 57 of Hunter McDaniel, finishing 7th in last week's race, but then shifting momentum up, double the momentum. Well, actually more momentum here this week, and finishing tonight's race in the 3rd place spot. Get a cop there, Hunter.
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
How you doing tonight?
Oh, pretty good. It was definitely an exciting race. Felt like we were able to pass a lot of cars out there.
You were able to pass a lot of cars indeed. We did see you going from the front to the back, from the back to the front a lot tonight, and battling these guys at every single place you were on the racing surface. It didn't matter whether or not it was the leader you were battling, but you're just pretty much battling these guys, trying to make sure they enjoyed the view of your taillights. But pretty much, did you have any setbacks tonight that you think you could have done a better job on?
Yeah, we made that first round of green flag pit stops, and unfortunately the caution came out right at the most inopportune time, put us a lap down, and instead of staying out and getting our lap back, I decided, there was only about 2 other guys that I would have to battle, so I took 4 tires there and got my lap back a little bit later. Maybe if I would have not pitted, could have stayed up to the front a little bit longer, but it's no problem. It was a lot of fun driving around these guys, but that probably set us back quite a few positions.
Oh, 10-4, brother. Very, very sorry to hear about that misfortune there. Yeah, that caution did catch a lot of guys off at a very bad time. People were not happy to see it. Actually, you guys stayed out, I believe, on 40 laps on your tires, 35 to 40 laps on your tires, but everybody else had pitted in. So it did really cause some confusion for you guys, but you were still able to pull through that and finish in the 3rd place spot. And buddy, last week you didn't have the best race. You finished in the 7th place spot, and tonight finishing in the 3rd place position. So with that said, what contributed to your success besides the pit strategies and everything else you went through?
Well, I think getting a lot of practice in with my team really helped. Maverick Motorsports has been great about helping me get up to speed on these tracks that I might not have as much practice on as I would like. So gotta thank them, and I gotta thank John Houston today for really helping me out, spotting up in the booth for me. He really helped me guide me around a lot of those lap cars and a lot of those other cars working through the field after being put a lap down. So gotta thank them. You know, without them, I wouldn't have even gotten close to the top 10.
10-4, brother. Also, congratulations here. We also look forward to seeing you again next week at Dover, and hopefully the momentum carries over and puts you 2 spots higher, taking away from 6-4 of Cody McFadden here to avoid him having the 4th win in a row. Not anything against him, but just exciting to see you guys battle like you usually do here. And before I let you go, but any final words?
Just looking forward to Dover. I think we got a good fast car, and I like that track. So we'll hopefully get a long green flag runs and see you guys in victory lane next week.
Congratulations, buddy, and have a good one.
Thank you very much, sir.
And that was the 57 of Hunter McDaniel, but now we have the 5 of Gary Woolbot, one of the drivers who was tied for 8th place in points starting tonight's race with the 12 of Damian Crump and the 81 of Travis Pryor. Looking at Gary right now, he gained 20 spots overall, starting 27th and finishing in the 7th place spot. Very impressive. Gotta go up there, buddy.
Yeah, sure do.
How you doing tonight?
Oh boy, I tell you, this is a tough one. Started off rough with the first restart on the caution and got some damage on the front end and had to use a repaired car and just try to keep it clean and work my way through the field, and got a lucky break on pit strategy to where a lot of the leaders pitted and a caution came out a lap or 2 later and worked out really well, and was able to keep it clean and work my way up through the field, but got unlucky, got put on the outside on the last 2 restarts and got run over by about 5 or 6 cars and tried to fight my way up to the top 5, but just missed it.
Oh, 10-4, brother. Very, very sorry to hear about that, but man, despite that, you pulled through tonight, going from 27th all the way to 7th, and you said you went through a lot tonight, but man, I am glad that you were still able to keep your foot down the floor and not let that discourage you, and you just pretty much saw the bigger picture, and it did pay off in the long run. But man, that's very commendable, and congratulations on that. And buddy, what should I expect to see from you at Dover International? How good are you at that track, or how much experience do you have?
I actually got some really good races in the last month or so at Dover and had some really good results, but it's a tough track. There'll be a lot of cautions, I think, just with the competitive nature of the group of guys here, and just want to try to do the same thing, be cautious at the beginning, work my way up through the field, and then try to finish strong.
Well, buddy, your strategy has been working out. You, just like I've talked to Dave a lot about and the viewers out there, you are the type of driver who holds back in the beginning and puts the hammer down the floor when it really matters the most, and it has shown here. It has paid off. It does usually pay off for you in almost every single race you do, because tonight you did do amazing, just like you did the last race that we had. Well, buddy, before I let you go, any final words?
I'd just like to thank my sponsor, Coors, for, I think they put some liquid courage in my water bottle on that first pit stop when got involved in someone checking up, and I think that helped through the race. And I'd like to thank my wife Kathy for giving me the support to do the racing, and great league, and just fun stuff.
Well, brother, congratulations on your heavy move tonight, going from 27th to 7th. Despite your bad luck, you were still able to pull through that, keep your head high, see the bigger picture, and gain 20 spots after everything had cycled out. And congratulations once again, buddy, and look forward to seeing you again next week at Dover International. Have a good night.
Yeah, good night.
And that was the 5 of Gary Woolbot, and that rounds up all our interviews. Well, Dave, I am speechless with a very, very rough start. Once the caution came out there, it looks like it might have confused the server, and that gave us a lot of caution laps there as the admins here, the race officials, tried their best to sort that out, and they did an amazing job. We were back to green, everything was sorted, so no harm was done there, and that did give these guys a lot of time, Dave, to stretch their arms and get ready for the green flag run that came after that, because we did end up seeing some green flag pit stops and those once again did separate the men from the boys.
Yeah, most definitely. But it was a fun time. All these drivers, a lot of these guys new just for this series, but it was definitely some fun times and had a great time here tonight.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, we can't thank you guys enough. Thank you for joining us tonight for the drive for COPD 125 for round 4 of the Extreme Motorsports 99 Pro K&N Series, brought to you by iRacing Broadcast Overlay and Graphics, iBog. That's IBOG, so check them out at ibog.co with Jason Allison. And next week we'll be having a race at Dover International Speedway. That's going to be a different kind of beast, not a beast like you've seen here at Charlotte. That's going to be more competitive and more difficult to race, just like some drivers that talked about here up in the booth, like Gary Woobot. So that's something to look forward to, and that's going to be entitled the Lucas Oil 200 at Dover International Speedway for round number 5. And the next broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, will be tomorrow night right here on the Dre Broadcasting Network for the Extreme Motorsports Truck Series, or Camping World Truck Series, entitled Online Sim Racing Network 114 at Charlotte Motor Speedway for 114 laps. And we might be having a word with either Ryan Daniels or Joe White, both from the Online Sim Racing Network. So you guys check them out at onlinesimracingnetwork.com, and also Online Sim Racing Network on YouTube, because they do broadcast Extreme Motorsports Wednesday night series and Thursday night series, and also on different nights. So you guys do have entertainment here and there, unlimited entertainment, that is. So you guys are always kept satisfied. If you guys have not yet already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you get notified every single time we go live, because we do broadcast a lot every single week. So you guys have unlimited entertainment coming to you guys, different race leagues, different cars, different tracks, different drivers, but the excitement still stays high, same level of excitement. So you guys are never bored. Once again, thank you for joining us for the drive for COPD 125. I am Sean Zulu and Dave Everly behind the cameras, and have a good night. Thanks for watching.